it's Mimi from Bravo Co-op, and this is how to make the second generation. So you're going to receive either prepared probiotic or the envelopes that contain the powder, and you're going to make it yourself. So what we're doing over here is we're putting a pot of boiling water ready to go. We have a 4-cup Pyrex measuring cup, silicone caps now, which I found very effective because what I have to do when it's in the pot or when it's in the freezer or when it's in the oven is to stick the thermometer in, and then I put it outside the oven door and I can see what temperature it is inside the oven. Or I use a candy thermometer and I just stick it in here and look through the window. I also have 2 measuring cups that I'm going to need to sterilize. I have a 1/3 of a cup, which is going to be used for the Bravo mixture that's already made. And I have a 1/4 of a cup, which really doesn't terribly need to be sterilized, but it is now. And in the 1/4 cup, we're going to put one of our special ingredients that the probiotic uses to eat, and that's colostrum. So I have here a liter of raw goat's milk that I just got from the farm, and I have my colostrum that I got from Amazon. I'll put a link under the website. And I have my probiotic that I have made. We are going to take our measuring cup and we are going to set it in the boiling hot water. So you are going to need some mitts or something to get this puppy out of there when you need to. Now listen, this is a liter, which is also a quart and a cup, 4 cups plus another 1/4 cup equals a liter. Most often you're going to end up in quarts, perfectly fine. So let's put this lovely thermometer into the milk. We're at 61 degrees. We want to go to 160. And we're about to get the Bravo Probiotic out of the pot. It's at 160 degrees. We're going to pull the thermometer out because that's going to get in our way. And we're going to put it on our sterilized tray. What I'm going to do, and I have the cup going this way, so here's the handle and here's the little spigot. If you have a bowl in here that doesn't have handles, I feel sorry for you because it's too hard to do. I mean, it's not impossible to do, but it's hard to do. Okay, so that's going to go right there. I love that thing. It's got a little silicone lip. And this is going out of the way. And now that we've got it out, I'm putting the thermometer back in. Probably the biggest reason this is intimidating is that big pot of boiling hot water. It's absolutely no fun. Okay, so here we go. And I'm going to have to turn you so you can come with. Very simple. We're putting it in the freezer. Lately, I've gotten lazy about the ice bath because you have to use your ice and you have to put it in a sink and you have to fill it up with water. That's great. Do it. But it's just as easy for me to take this steaming hot thing and put it in the freezer. And since I have one of these nifty CDN clock thermometers that can go right outside the freezer, I don't have to keep opening it to see what the temperature is. I have turned the oven on just to get it warmed up. So now I'm going to turn it off. It was on to 350. It's quite toasty in there. That's not what I'm interested in. Not at all. I'm interested in the oven staying at 100 degrees for 6, 7, 8 hours. And we're going to turn the oven light on. And the oven light is enough to sustain the temperature by itself. And you need to practice with your thermometer and your oven temperature prior to doing this. So I'm giving you some options that are very cost effective because I know some people have these issues. So the oven light is our heating source. And when you test it, I found that my oven went up to 118. I put the Bravo in at night when I go to sleep, and in the morning I take it out. It's not rocket science, it's not exact science. Even an hour is okay. But I would say 7, 8 hours. It's kind of like a night's sleep. So because my oven is a little hotter, I took my little silicone thing, or anything actually, and hold the door open just a crack, and that lets enough heat out so that we've got the right temperature. Alright, so we're at 91 degrees. It's going to take a lot to get to 160. When I get to 160, I am going to go to another very friendly appliance that's in most kitchens called a freezer. And I'm going to take my jug of probiotic and I'm going to put it right there in the freezer. I'm going to take my thermometer and put it on the counter, and I'm going to be able to see right into the freezer. So I have removed the milk from the fire and it's cooling down. You can see that it's now at 135 and dropping. So let's just cool it down and then we'll come back. Okay, so now the milk is cooled down to 106, which is roughly 110, and that's great. And if you notice, there's this, can you see it? It's this skin that forms on top of the milk. And some people are allergic to that. It's got casein in it. So we're just going to pull it out. And if you gather it up, it pulls out very easily. And then the probiotic is going to be much more homogeneous and interesting. Okay, now, so here's our stuff, and we're going to come over here. We're going to put a little bit, maybe a half a cup, into the jar so that we can make it mix. Now, I can't use that because I haven't sterilized it. So this here and here is the probiotic culture from before, and this is new and it doesn't have any probiotic culture. So we're pouring the old mix into the new mix, and you say to me, is there anything that's going to be old that is not good? And the answer is yes. So you don't want to do this for very long, maybe a couple of generations at the most. If you can get your Bravo Probiotic to last for a month, which is maybe 4 generations, that's all you want to push it. But at least that saves you a lot of money because you are, come on in, Luke, you are generating it yourself instead of buying it every time, because it costs about $40 just to buy the powder. Okay, so now that the probiotic is in there, we're going to put most of the milk, well, a little bit more milk in, and we're going to put in this powder. Now this powder is called colostrum, and I think I'm going to use this one instead because it's drier. So this is a powder. You want to stir it, Luke? Just you stir it while I pour the powder in gently. I'm going to put about 8 of these little things in here. And so I'm really not counting. It's just food for the probiotic. Without the colostrum in it, the probiotic isn't as happy. It doesn't have as much to eat, and it won't grow and expand properly. I keep the colostrum in the refrigerator. How you doing there, Lukey? You got any lumps? I'm going to squish the lumps up against the side of the bowl so that they are smoothed into the milk, so that all my little friends have plenty to eat. Colostrum is an interesting thing. Colostrum is the very first milk that the mother gives to their baby. And it's really like the T cells of the immune system. So along with the probiotics, the colostrum stimulates your immune system in a new way. And although that's very exciting, I have a philosophical issue with having too much colostrum in my life. It's not something I would do all the time, because I don't think that one person should end up with all the wealth. This is very, very precious stuff. And every time we use it, we're taking the first milk from the baby that's supposed to have it. But they don't give it all to us. I mean, they're careful about how they generate it. It's just very precious. That's the lid for this yogurt maker. Now, if you see, the lumps are starting to come out, but I'm not too concerned that they're all completely out. I could have strained it. That would have helped. This is medicine we're making. This is very special medicine. We're going to put the rest of the milk in there. We're going to make, and then we're going to put it in the yogurt maker. And we're going to put the top on it. And this is going to stay, as I said before, for about 4 or 5 hours. And then it's going to be done. This is the Miron glass. This is what you buy if you get a product that's prepared. It's a ½ liter, 2 cups. I'm going to need a couple of them. So we've got them. They're sterilized. Once it comes out of the oven, it goes in the refrigerator for about 6 hours to set up to the consistency you want. I have a lovely little note here. I don't know whether you can read it. It says, "Keep the light on, Bravo." And that's where I got the logo from for Bravo Co-op. Keep the light on. And of course we know that the light is the light in the oven, the light in our hearts, and keep the Bravo aware and alive. Keep the Bravo going in your gut.